Okay, and we are live. Welcome everybody. I'm just trying to get the camera, it just needs to be tilted up just a teeny bit. I think that'll work. Okay. Oh, my head's cut off. Okay, that's not gonna be good. Hang with me just a smidgen, people. Let me just get it up a little bit higher. Think that'll work. Okay, yeah. No. Oh, this is just give me a couple minutes. Get on an angle. There we go. Okay, now stay. Thank you, Brandy. Hey, Brandy, great that you could join us. Okay, I think that's gonna be perfect. Yes, success. Welcome, everybody. Sorry for that little bit of a snafu. My name is Laura Hall, and you have joined us on our cooking show, Come Cook With Me. We always go live every Friday, and we've had some great recipes, some great fun. So I just want to say thank you for joining us and welcome to the show. Today we are making just an incredible meal. If you caught the Come Shop With Me, every Wednesday we go shopping for whatever is on the menu. And so we went live to Kyle's Fish Market and to Curry Brothers vegetable stand. And let me tell you, if you didn't see that video, go down in my Facebook feed and just take a look at that incredible place. Now, if you're local and you're here from St. Augustine area and you don't know about Kyle's, well, let me just tell you, you want to go and pay a visit. They're on Highway 1, US 1, and they have the most crazy, awesome, local caught fish, fresh, and it's just absolutely amazing. So, and the produce is just unbelievable. So that's where we shopped, and if you saw the video, you'll see all of the beautiful fishes that we had to choose from. And let me tell you, that was even hard choosing which one to pick, because he had so many great ones. And then if you go further into that live post, inside that live post, we actually posted, there was a fisherman who just came in from a dive, and he caught an incredible amount of fish. You just have to take a look at the picture. So, anyway, we picked the African Pompano, and so a little bit about that in a minute. Let me just cover some basic tips. So I see a lot of you are catching on and joining us. So I thank you again for joining us. We are weekly. Every week we come live on Friday and share just recipes that most of them so far have all been things that I have just cooked forever. And really the history of how this show got started is somebody asked me and they said, hey, Laura, would you mind sharing a certain recipe? And I said, I don't mind. And then they came up with the idea, well, you should put this on Facebook and do a live, and give back and just do it live. And so ever since I was challenged to do that, it just has been so much fun. I never realized how much fun we would have. And then so many of you just keep coming back and hit follow first so that when I'm live, you're actually catching my videos. And I certainly appreciate that. And so for those of you who are new to the show, welcome. Every time we have a show, we actually take the show, and I started a YouTube channel. It's called Lifestyle by Laura J. So if you want to catch any of our past shows, all you have to do is go to YouTube, in the search menu, hit Lifestyle by Laura J. Thank you, and you'll see all of the past videos. So any of the recipes. Now, I will tell you we're getting better and better, and my friend Kale Owen has said he's giving me an idea, a clip of where I need to find a better camera. So coming soon. I haven't purchased the camera yet, but I plan on it, and it'll make our videography so much better than what we've done. And if you saw the show from when we got started, it was pretty hilarious. So I might retape those shows just to I've learned how to consolidate and make things a little bit faster because, your time is sensitive.
Although I do have a few of you that have said, no, we love the stories, you know, stay with this original format. But I really think that a good happy medium is in place. So that's what we're working toward. So your constant support and your constant feedback of how I can improve, I'm so grateful for. So if you're new, you want to say who you are and where you reside, and there's a reason for that, because we do some giveaways on the show. And what I do is, if you've done those comments, you just put it in the comment area right now as you're watching. And once you comment who you are and where you're from, you get entered into a random drawing for some special spices that I just absolutely love. And it's a member of my team, my health and wellness team, Dan Oliver, and his spices are called Dan O's. I'll show you what they look like. The winning set is over there. So this is the cooking set that I have. But you get a chance to win both of these, and they're just phenomenal. And everyone wants to know, where do you get them? And I always post the link inside this feedback, so inside below. So I'll post it again because I know that we'll get lots of people who will ask where they're from. And there are several of you who watch religiously all the time, and you all are helping people guide them to Dan's website. So that's just fantastic. These are phenomenal spices. I'll talk about them in a little bit. But so you get a chance to win those when you say hi, who you are and where you're from. And then if you share this video, all you have to do is hit share and share the link on your personal Facebook page. And if you do that, you're entered to win our seasonal shake. So I can't wait to tell you who last week's winners were, because I have them sitting right here. And let me tell you, this week's winner, I'll get this shake. This week's winner, obviously, this week's winner is going to win these. But when you share this particular video on your Facebook page, you're going to win the new shake that has not yet been released. It's coming out, so as soon as it comes out, and I order my quantities because I will be ordering so many of these. I've got to tell you, this is, I don't know how my company does this. Every time they come up with a seasonal shake, I mean, they blow the last one out of the water. And we have had some fabulous seasonal shakes. But this is our 15-year celebration shake. And so it is called Cookies and Cream. Cookies and cream. So you want to talk about a shake that is like unbelievable, and one that is so perfect for your kids right before school. It's a complete meal replacement. It has 23 vitamins and minerals and active enzymes, and it's just something that is just so beautiful. I mean, it's just, I would go on and on and on about it, but I won't because we're here for cooking. But whoever shares this video on their Facebook wall, you'll be entered in the random generator to win that as well. And just saying hello and where you're from, you get a chance to win the spices. So that's just perfect. All right, so you ready for who won last week? All right, let's see. Drum roll. Okay, for the spices, Nancy Hoffman-Hing, you won the spices from last week. So Nancy, if you're watching right now or you're watching later on today, please send me a private message with your address so that I can send you your spices. Okay, and the shake. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. Okay, I know this girl is going to be so excited. Lana Paget, you won the shake. So congratulations, I'm very excited for you. Woo! Everyone give some thumbs up. Awesome job, Lana. Also, if you would just go ahead and send me your address as well in a private message, that'd be great. So, all right, so let's get started with today's show. The fish. Let's start with that first. It is absolutely amazing. It's so beautiful. Just going to show you. Yes, I ended up getting a whole bunch because, you know, we're going to be cooking in the Instant Pot, and we're also going to be cooking traditional. So I toss around, do I do traditional or do I do slow cooker? Because most of the time I like to compare my recipes in the slow cooker, you know, because let's face it, we're all very busy and we want to have a recipe that goes in very quick. And, you know, we can have a beautiful meal for our family as we sit down to the table with each other.
So that's why I like the slow cooker, and this does go really well in the slow cooker. But I just know that most of the time, and this is a family favorite in my house, most of the time we will do, this is a baked variety. So the difference is seeing how well it comes out in the Instant Pot, and I'm very excited. So I have just the regular, I have the smaller Instant Pot, so I won't be able to fit as many fish pieces in here, but I'll just show you the round container. I've already got some bone broth in there, and I'm just going to set the fish in right there, but that's why I wanted to put the bone broth in first. And so I use bone broth as my base. You can use anything that you prefer. I like bone broth because it's the healthiest that you can put into, I think, a recipe personally. And there are a lot of good products out there. What I look for is no GMOs. I look for no MSG. I really look for just the healthiest version that I can get. Low sodium, low carbohydrates, and no sugars. And so this has got a ton of protein in it, 10 grams for each of these small containers. Very nice. So I've already gone ahead and put 2 of these container sizes in the Instant Pot. You always want to get the liquid at the bottom when you're cooking before you place your beef, your meat, or whatever in. And so let me hold up the fish for you. It's so beautiful. Just take a look at those steaks. So yeah, we have quite a few people who are coming and planning for dinner, but let me tell you, whatever you have left over of this recipe, the next day or the next 2 days, whatever you choose, well, you could even say for Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, these make the most excellent fish tacos. Oh my goodness, so phenomenal. So always save it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put in, and these are bigger steaks, so they're gonna feed, you know, it's too much meat for one person for a serving, but I just wanted to kind of have them lay in there really well. And they are a little bit big, so they're gonna lay a little bit on top of each other, but that won't be a problem. And I'll show you how they look in just a second. I think I'll put this one in. Yeah, okay. So easy. This recipe is so super easy. You're just gonna absolutely love it. So I'm gonna just take up some of that extra juice from the fish in here. Okay, so this other pan, it's just perfect. It's gonna be the roasting pan. So let me go ahead and put the broth in it. And then you wanna make sure the liquid covers your fish, especially when you're gonna be baking it. But this isn't all that we're going to be putting in here, so I want to save some space because I cooked this with some vegetables. So I'm going to put 2 in. I'll end up probably putting 2 more, and I need to put at least 2 more in here as well. Oh, it's so rich when you use the bone broth. And I use the chicken. You can use the beef to give it a different flavor if you'd like. They actually have some just some wide variety, just really great ones, so, yeah, whatever you prefer. And I do like it. I know that you can go to like a Costco, and in fact, my goddaughter's mom, she was telling me, oh, I had the bigger versions of those from Costco, and I had to go to a couple of different Publixes to get them, and they ran out. I think I asked the store manager, the assistant manager, if they could like keep a case for me, because you know I go through this like there's no tomorrow when I'm cooking. Okay, so this is the beginning part of it, but look at how simple this recipe is. I mean, I'm not kidding. My son actually, he called me, and this is why this recipe came up to the forefront. And by the way, you do not need to use an African Pompano. You can use any fish that you love, because this recipe is so versatile. I mean, it's really easy, versatile and easy. So the next thing that's going to go in here, before I put the vegetables on, is going to be some cumin. And I like to buy the cumin all my spices, I like to have them organic. I like to have them non-GMO certified, and it just gives the organic, you know, symbol as well. So, I use a wide variety of them. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and I do not measure. So those of you who are following me for the first time, I look at how it looks for us, and I know how the spice really tastes and what it's gonna do for the family. But I will tell you, this was about a half a jar, and it's gonna be completely used. So we like spice, we like flavor, and you know, it's just something that, you know, we've always done. Some of you don't like a lot of spice, so you will have to figure out what you like the best. Yeah, I totally used all of that. Okay, the other thing that's gonna go in is we're gonna do some organic thyme. Again, non-GMO, organic thyme. It doesn't really matter what brand. I don't find that the brand matters so much as whether it's GMO, certified, organic. That's really what I'm looking for. And GMO, for those of you who are new to cooking and just learning, that means genetically modified genetically modified non-organic, okay? So I don't want to put genetic modification food into my body. You know, we have enough battles with toxicity in our environment, in the food that we eat, that we really don't need to have any more endocrine disruptors. And there's a lot of research. Now, genetic modification has helped feed the world, but to what extent and how troublesome is it for us? You know, that question is still unanswered, but there's a lot of indication that some of these genetic modifications are really changing our complete environment, and how our insects and how our flowers are getting pollinated. So if it's disrupting the endocrine ability of our insects, I can just imagine what it does to our bodies. So that's one of the reasons why I do that. And again, it's a choice. You don't have to do what I do, but I'm just sharing with you what I've learned. So, okay. So that was the organic thyme. Then we also have the herbs of Providence. So I love this one because it's already got so many mixtures of them in there. I mean, it's just can you see that? Yeah. So this has got rosemary, thyme, savory, sage. So I really love to have just the little extra. Since the thyme is already in there, I don't need to put as much in. And also, we're going to be putting Dano's in. And I am going to choose to use Dano's spicy, but let's talk about Dano's. Dano's is such a phenomenal, great product. It's Kentucky Proud. Right there is the Kentucky Proud. And I guess right now in Louisville, we have the state fair. Somebody sent me a message that they ran into Dano. He has a booth at the Kentucky State Fair. So if you're from Kentucky, head over to the state fair and say hey to Dano. Take a picture with him. He loves that, and post it on his Facebook page. You can tag me in it. He loves that. But what he has done, if you really look into his Facebook page, you will find out this is just the most amazing product. I'm going to read it to you. It's always got, always has no sugar, low sodium, no MSG. You don't want to have MSG, no GMOs, and it's gluten-free. So he has one that's just like more of an Italian, and then more of a spicy flavor. I mean, just unbelievable. So I'm going to use the spice today because we like a little bit of spice on our fish. Not a lot, but a little. And again, no need to measure. You're going to know what you want your sauce. You want your fish to be well coated, and just you'll know how it's supposed to look. But I just love his spices. Oh my gosh, that's just amazing. All right, so now I need to add the vegetables. And what I have done, what we enjoy in our fish is we enjoy a mixture of, well, I didn't have any orange, but I would normally have orange as well. So I've got yellow, I've got red, and I've got green sliced peppers. And they are phenomenal, so I'm just going to layer them on top of the fish. They're just going to go beautifully laid on top of the fish. And it's such a great treat when you see how it gets plated. And I'll post the plates, how we do the plates at the end. So I just keep layering them.
the peppers make it just such a neat way to go along with the fish. It's so fresh and just yummy. So anyway, I was telling you, my son, he sent me a message, Mom, how do you make the fish? So my kids, if you know anything about me, my kids are still in Louisville. We're here in St. Augustine, and they're doing the adulting thing. That's kind of the stage that they're at. My daughter has her last year of school. She's a senior and in college, and my son is teaching. So he's into the teaching world. He teaches special needs, and he's such a gift, such a beautiful soul. And so he sent me a message. He's the one, he's like always saying, well, how do I do this recipe? How do I do that recipe? I'm like, hey, you know, that recipe is on the YouTube channel. So this one isn't. So this is going to be on the YouTube channel now. So that's how easy, that's all you have to do to make this fish. And it's so phenomenal. The only other thing I have to do is make sure that the fish and the vegetables are now covered with the liquid, okay? And for the fish, when you actually bake it, what you're gonna do is you're gonna bake it at 375 degrees. And these are really thick steaks, so if you do a thinner white fish, it's not gonna take more than 40 minutes. This might take 50 minutes, but in the Instant Pot, even with the thickness of this fish, it's gonna be, I have a fish setting, but if you don't have a fish setting, if yours is an older Instant Pot, you're gonna do 15 minutes, and you can do a slow release or quick release. It just depends on how hungry your family is. But I'll show you how beautiful this looks. It's kind of heavy, but it's just, it's gorgeous. It's just so beautiful. When you see all the peppers mixed on top of that fish, and yeah, but the Instant Pot's gonna take, you know, it'll take 10 to 15 minutes. You have to build up your steam, right? And that's included with the buildup of the steam. It'll be finished, and you can do a quick release or a slow release of the steam. I always do a slow release because it takes time for all the people who are coming for dinner. It takes time for them to get here, and it keeps it nice and hot. And I think it'll be a little bit more flaky by having the slow release versus having the fish be all in just maybe one complete steak. But they're so thick, these are so big, that it'll be kind of good for that to happen. All right, I think one more ought to do it in here. But that's how simple this particular recipe is. But I've also set aside some additional sides so you can see how we're gonna do that. So just hang with me and I'll kind of go through that with you. Our guests aren't coming tonight, so I'm not actually gonna hit start on any of these because we're having a little bit of a later dinner. We've got several people who are coming for dinner tonight. So, but I do want to show you what it looks like, and I'm just going to set this off to the side so you can see. It's beautiful. Just look at how gorgeous that is. Can you see it? I can tilt it just a smidgen without. There you go. Can you see? Awesome. Yeah, beautiful, right? I'm going to put this over to the side. Okay, so I'm not going to put the top on. I'll put the top on just to show you how it goes on. So in an Instant Pot, if you don't have one yet, let me just tell you, one of the best, you know, it's a pressure cooker. So, you know, old school, when I was learning how to cook, I was always afraid of the pressure cookers. But let me tell you, they've taken all the safety measures into place. So the things that I was afraid of, I'm not afraid of anymore. So this little dial right here, it's a quick release. So you want to have it in the closed position. Right now I have it in the closed position. This is the open when you want to do a quick release of the steam. That's the open part. But you want to, when you hit the go button, you want it in the closed. And what's so great about this design is when you hit it on, listen for it to click. There's no move in this guy, no move in it. So it's in a lock position, and you put your setting, you hit go, and it just does its magic. It's amazing. So I'm just going to keep that like that. We're not going to get it started, but it will definitely cook really super fast. So let me share with you what I'm going to be serving with this incredible meal. So while it's cooking, I will have prepared, and I'm going to show you how I do it. We're going to have a side of asparagus,
And so I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about asparagus. I've had a couple of people ask me some questions actually, and that's why I decided to leave this out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this pan. This is what I'm going to steam my asparagus in. You can actually do a grilled asparagus. It would taste beautiful with this fish as well. But since it's going to be baked and it's in the Instant Pot, I thought I would just do it the normal way on the oven, on the stove. So when you get your asparagus stock, depending on how thick they are, is what you're going to do with them. If they're super thick, and sometimes they can be super thick and be really great tasting, but you want to take your, let me rinse that off because it still has some carrot on it. Your vegetable peeler. And what you want to do, if it's a really thick stock, all you have to do is take the first layer skin off just to get it to open up, just like this. So beautiful. And then you want to take, all you do is you just snip, and the asparagus is so smart, where it snips off in the back end. That's where it would be too chewy, but it will just snip off where it won't be so chewy. Isn't that beautiful? How easy is that? And then I would just place those in. Now, most of these aren't too thick, so I don't have to skin them, you know, to use my vegetable peeler on these because they're pretty thin. But if you have thick ones, you definitely want to do that. And I've gone ahead and rinsed these, so I'm just going to show you how I would do it. The way I do my asparagus, I think you're going to love it. I don't know. I think you will. I realized I didn't take out one of my implements that we're going to need in order to show you what I do with it. We need one of these guys, so hang on. I'm just going to get these set up in here so you can see how I will do it. It's so easy. You just break them where the asparagus says, hey, this is my good point. Break me right here. And if any of them were really super thick, I'd be using my vegetable peeler. It's really not necessary. But again, we're going to use the Dan-O's on this. And we're going to use the lemon zest, the zest of a lemon. So the other thing that I do to steam these is I'm going to get one of my bone broths. This bone broth is just so versatile, isn't it? So I'm going to get my bone broth. I'm going to just put a nice even layer on the bottom of the pan, and I'll show you what it looks like in just a second. Usually one works with this pan greatly, but you'll just see it's just enough on the bottom so that when I cover it, it's going to be, it'll just steam up into the asparagus. That didn't work. Okay, I guess we're still live. Thank goodness. So you want to take your little zester. This is a lemon zester. Well, it's any kind of a zester. Take your lemon, and what you're going to do is just get the zest of the lemon. This makes the asparagus, I mean, it just pops. It's just, oh, again, I wish we had smell-o-vision. I wish so much. But you're just going to get the zest of the lemon all over. It's such a beautiful way to prepare the asparagus. And it just, people say, what did you do with your asparagus? It's like, oh, I just put some zest of the lemon. The lemon just, you know, if you have a sugar cookie recipe, this is the magic secret. Zest of a lemon in any of your cookie recipes. And I'm not a baker, but I learned that years and years ago. I had a girlfriend who baked the most splendid sugar cookies ever, and that was her secret. And so I've actually learned that that's like the secret to many things. Orange and lemon and lime zest, just amazing. You'll see me do that at the holiday. I use it all of the time like that. All right. So I'm going to put a little Dan-O's, and I'm going to use just more of the Italian blend and season that on top. And that's so simple. That's as easy as it gets for the asparagus. So what I'll do is I'll cover it, and it'll just steam it, and it won't take very long, but take a look at what that looks like. Isn't that beautiful? Awesome. Okay, and you don't need any salt because you've got Dan-O's, which is phenomenal. Okay, the other thing we're gonna make, and I'm gonna use my deep skillet, it's a fried rice cauliflower. Ready? It is so darn delicious. So what I did is I just wanted to show you the difference. Last week I told you about a rice cauliflower. And so I wanted to show you the difference of a fresh cauliflower that's been riced, that I just went ahead and riced it. Let me get it closer so you can see it. And all I did is I took you can do it by chopping, you can get it by a shredder, you can do it by shredding. This particular one I did by chopping. Chopping takes a little bit longer. You can actually even put it in your food processor. I had a question about that last week. And yeah, this food processor works great. The only thing is when you rice in the food processor, you want to do it quick, pulse, 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 and then pull out what's mostly done. And if something isn't completely done, put those back in and pulse them again. But if you get it too riced, it'll get mushy when it actually cooks. So you want to try to keep it less. But let me show you the difference. This is a frozen rice cauliflower. Nothing bad. I mean, it's easy to use. Now, the problem with this one, and what I would do, because it is wet, just feeling it, it's just got a lot of moisture in it, because it was frozen, right? So what you want to do, if you're working with a frozen rice cauliflower and you're trying to make it a fried rice, what you want to do is you want to put it in a tea towel and just fold it up and squish out all the excess liquid, and then lay it out flat, let it just sit for a little bit, and it'll be perfect. So I don't have a tea towel handy to do that, to show you what I mean, but again, if I use this as a tea towel, which I'm not because it's not clean, but I would just pour it inside here and fold it up and then squish it out, and it will be perfect. And that's what I will do with this, just because I already took it out and I wanted you to see the difference. But I actually like, when I do a stir fry, I really like to use the fresh rice. Now, because we have some people who, I think they're not going to be able to tell the difference, but we'll put the testimony on the feed at the end. I'm going to make a traditional rice in a rice cooker. Basmati, I'm going to make a basmati rice, but this is going to be phenomenal. This is just going to be absolutely stunning. So let me show you how I'm going to do it. I'm not going to actually prepare it right now because we're not having dinner for a while, but it will turn out just perfect. So what you start off in is in your saucepan, you're going to use a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Now, I use avocado oil because it's my favorite, but some people really like to use coconut oil. Either one is really good. You're not going to get it too hot, so either one, all three of those are just beautiful oils to start with. But again, you want to use very little. So you're just going to coat the bottom of the pan, okay? And you're going to you're going to dice up some onion. So, and I have yet to dice up my onion, but you're going to dice up an onion and you're going to put some garlic cloves in. Now, I am very, very big on roasting my garlic. You can choose to do whatever you like. If you don't have any garlic cloves that you can roast, you can always use the jarred garlic. So either one is great. But what you want to do when you pick a garlic, make sure it's organic. You know how it's grown. I tend to pick most of my garlic from Canada or California. And I've gone through a ton of stories about Gilroy, California. I won't go into that story again because we've all seen it and heard it before. But my favorite way when I actually cook a meal with garlic is to roast it. And this has just been roasted. It's almost to the point where it was too much, but not really too bad. But it's very, very soft. Let's see, show that to you. And the flavor is just, it's just, I can't even describe what this, people walk into the house and they're like, what is that? And it's like, oh, it's roasted garlic. It's just so beautiful. And so I'm going to take 2 heaping spoonfuls of this, and I'm going to dice up a half an onion, and I'm going to let it get opaque in the olive oil, right? And then I'm going to throw in these, the rice cauliflower, and I'm going to throw in some additional vegetables that I have diced up. So let me show you. I've got scallions, I've got some diced up carrots, and I've got some diced up peas, and I've got some diced up green beans. They've kind of been sliced, like almost like a French style. Okay, so I'm not going to put all of them in, but I'm going to do just enough so that it's really well coated. Beautiful. And I haven't done anything with these, the tops to the peppers, but you know, you can do in the rice cauliflower and the stir fry, you can do just about anything. So if you have some vegetables like these, I might dice up a little bit of these as well to put in there. So it just adds some great flavor. All right, so while that's cooking, I'm going to be preparing this particular sauce. And let me show you this sauce. So I'm going to start with this. So here's the sauce. It's going to start with 2 eggs because it's a stir fry. So I will have the sauce prepared, so I thought I'd show you how I make the sauce. I start off with 2 eggs. I'm cooking a huge amount. So you might just need 1 egg depending on how many people you're going to be cooking for. But 2 eggs for sure for what I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to use my aminos. So a lot of people say, I've never cooked with aminos. I've got 2 different ones to show you, liquid aminos. So, you know, most stir fries use a soy sauce. Well, I'm not big into soy. I don't really believe putting soy into my body. So I use an aminos, and this one is one of my favorites. So I'm going to show it to you. What I love about this is a coconut aminos, and this is made from the coconut. So it's organic coconut tree sap, aged and blended with sun-dried mineral-rich sea salt. That's it. So it's beautiful. So it's much like a soy sauce. It tastes beautiful. It has a coconut flavor. It's just yummy. But this is also certified organic, non-GMO, and gluten-free. Let me show it to you. Isn't that's just amazing. It's so yummy and so yummy. So I'm going to use my liquid aminos. Now, if you don't like coconut, I like the Bragg's all-purpose seasoning. It's a natural soy alternative. Again, Bragg's is one of those that is always gluten-free, non-GMO. So just look for that symbol. And so this is beautiful. This is just great. You can use this liquid amino too. I'm going to use the coconut because I think the coconut will go really well with the vegetables that I've picked. So I'm going to use quite a bit of this. I would say it's probably 1/4 cup, maybe a little bit less. And just pour it right in there. Now, I'm also going to use some garlic, some additional garlic. So, you know, we've already put the garlic in the pan itself, right? Because it's cooking away with that onion and the garlic. So I'm not going to use a whole bunch, but let's say you forgot that step of the garlic in the pan. That's when you would add a little bit more. So about two teaspoons. And I'm going to add some more cumin. And I'm going to use some Adano spices. I'm going to use the little bit of spicier one. This is so yummy. Oh, darn. Okay, beautiful. And that's it. That's all you need. Now, you don't need any additional salt because we have these seasonings in here, right? So beautiful. The only other thing that I'm going to add, and it's going to be at the end, but just to show you so you can see how I would do it. Oh, that just smells amazing. You should just smell that. It's crazy awesome. I'll show it to you as well. But I have some chives. And so I usually, when I do the stir-fried rice, I will finish off before serving. I will have these already ready to go. But I'll just show you how I put it in this particular sauce. Again, I use a scissor. I don't chop my herbs, my fresh herbs. I use a scissor because when you actually use a scissor, you get the zest of how whatever it is that you're putting into your mixture. And if you're plating and you do this with your herbs, it just gives such a beautiful, fresh finish to every meal, every dish. And it's really easy. It's just so easy. So you just keep the herbs out, and before people go away from plating, because we do it pretty much family style, you know, make your plate. It's just really that simple. So I'll show this to you. Look at how beautiful that is. So I'm going to just put this back into the refrigerator now because I'm not going to make it just yet, but you can see how beautiful that is. And that will go once all those vegetables and the cauliflower rice is all getting nice and
heated and browned, you're gonna add this sauce right into it, and it'll all just mix up really fine at the last minute. And the egg is gonna actually bind. So if you find that you have more cauliflower, you can always add an extra egg in, because you really wanna have that egg, because it's a stir-fry rice. You wanna have plenty of egg to coat it. And for my ratio, just looking at this, I'm gonna say this ratio probably requires to have one more egg. That's what I'm looking at. Okay, so I'll go ahead and put this in the refrigerator. I'll add an egg to it when we get closer. Okay, and the final thing that we're gonna serve with our meal, you are gonna love it. So what I've done is I'm gonna take another pan, like the pan size that I used for the asparagus, and I'm going to just wilt, just a little bit of wilting of the spinach. And that's how we're gonna plate it, right? It's gonna go underneath the, it'll be the very first thing, and then we'll put the cauliflower rice right kind of adjacent after it's wilted. And then the final thing that will be a side dish, aside from the asparagus, is some sliced tomatoes. These are Tennessee tomatoes that I was able to pick up at Courier's. So I'm gonna slice these up, and I'm gonna drizzle, I'm gonna make a caprese salad out of it. So I don't wanna do that just yet, but I'm gonna slice them really fine. And I've got some beautiful pearl, fresh mozzarellas that I'm gonna use, just the pearls. They're really teeny, they're beautiful. And I'm gonna slice up a little bit of a red onion. So this is the red onion. I just kind of already got that kind of prepared. And I'll slice that up nice and thin. And the way that I'm gonna make this balsamic, since I've got some basil, I've got some fresh basil here, I'm just gonna tear off some leaves of the basil, just like this. And I'll tear it from the stem, because you don't wanna have a stem on your basil. So I'm just gonna tear off the leaves, and I'll kind of position it, a basil, tomato, slice of onion, and some pearls that will be kind of plated right there. And then I'm just gonna cover it with my own balsamic vinaigrette. And what I've done in order to make it, if you don't have an aged vinegar, this is one option. This is a little bit of a pricier option. I use it very sparingly, but when I don't have the time to take down my own balsamic vinaigrette and make it myself, where it's just so beautiful. What I've done is I went ahead, and this one almost got a little bit too much, but watch how all you have to do is take your balsamic, look at how beautiful that is. It's like almost like a syrup. And it's just a reduction. It's just a balsamic reduction. I did nothing but put just balsamic vinegar, just regular balsamic vinegar, nothing really special. I just used the Kirkland because this is what I had. I put it on the stove, and all I did is let it reduce over a slow, low heat. And this beautiful magic comes out as a result. Just look at it. And that's what I'll drizzle over the top. And I won't even put any oil on it, because this is just enough flavor. You can put oil if you'd like, and I would use a really special extra virgin olive oil if you're going to do that. And that's it. That's all we have that we're going to be sharing with dinner tonight. I can't wait to actually have all of this cooking, and I'll take some pictures of it when we do, and I'll post them so you can see the feed. So I want to thank you all so much for joining us. I hope you enjoy this recipe, and I can't wait to share with you as we plate it. And I appreciate you all staying and hanging on with us and watching our show. So next week we'll have a new show, and every Wednesday look for the Come Shop With Me. I actually shop and share with you what you need to get so that you can be ready and cook with us. And enjoy your weekend. I hope you just have a beautiful, splendid weekend, and I hope you've enjoyed the show with us. So don't forget to tune in. If you aren't a friend of me, you feel free to friend me. I'm getting close to my limit though, so always hit follow me first so that you'll always see our live videos. And
thanks so much for joining us. Have a splendid, beautiful weekend, and enjoy your fish. Okay, have a great night, everybody.